But Josh ruined my transition. Goes, someone else that we can say fuck you to is the Chicago Sky.
Oh yeah.
Teresa Weatherspoon was fired from the Chicago Sky. I think this was crazy and stupid by them. Chicago was riddled with injuries this year and got rid of good players from last year's roster. Even got rid of Marina Mabry in the middle of the season, who she's now balling out with the Connecticut Sun in the postseason. So great trade, Chicago. Chicago said it was a rebuild year when going into this year, and Teaspoon had her players playing well, and they were just outside of a playoff spot. She was also like the Kennedy Carter whisperer. Of all the time Kennedy Carter has been in the WNBA, no coach has had her playing the way Teaspoon did. Players spoke about how it was to have a coach that believed in them, from Kennedy to Camilla to Angel, etc. That doesn't mean she took it easy on her players. She worked them hard because she expected more from them, because she believed in them, and that's one of the biggest things you can ask from a coach, is that they have belief in you and what you can achieve. And because of Teaspoon, like, that was one of the reasons why I rooted for Chicago this year, is because of Teresa Weatherspoon. I completely agree with Becky Hammond's comments on the matter. She said, it doesn't make much sense to me. I thought they were in a rebuild. You traded away all your pieces. I don't know what you expected of that roster, but I thought she got the most out of her roster. I just don't think it was realistic expectation. It seems flat out wrong to me. Spoon is resilient. I know she'll land on her feet, but I don't know. Make it make sense for me. I don't know either, Becky. Like, it doesn't make sense to me at all either. And, like, I love Dwayne Wade over there. He loves Dwayne Wade. But sorry, we're not rooting for the Chicago Sky, who's he part owner of, because y'all making some stupid ass decisions right now. Weatherspoon, she was an assistant coach for the Pelicans for 3 years before taking the Chicago Sky job. This was her first head coaching job in the WNBA this year. So, Josh, I'm going to throw to you first. Do you think she sticks with the WNBA, or does she go back to the NBA, or does she go back to college, which she was, I think it was like 5 years as the head coach of Louisiana Tech before the Pelicans? And what do you think of her being sacked, and Becky Hammond, kind of her comments on it, too?
I mean, I don't know. There has to have been something between her and the and management for this to happen, because it wasn't like they came out and just sucked all year. I think it also. I don't know if it had anything to do with they were just needed a reason, and it's like, well, you didn't make the playoffs, so therefore you're gone. I think that something like that doesn't happen without there being super friction between her and management, which is always sucks. I mean, heck, Jimmy Johnson got let go from the Dallas Cowboys after winning a Super Bowl because him and Jerry Jones didn't get along. So unfortunately, this shit happens. It's terrible because it wasn't like, she inherited a team that was terrible. They got Angel. Angel got injured. She had no control over Angel's anatomy in that regard.
They traded Marina.
They traded Marina, yeah. Like, so you gave her like you basically was just like, unless you did this, it was kind of like, with the Last Dance with Chicago Bulls. They literally told Phil Jackson, "You're not coming back after this year. Like, we're not renewing your contract." And then he goes on and wins wins his sixth championship. So it's, of course, I would come out and support Teresa Weatherspoon. I know Angel Reese came out and just was super. She said, well, I think the quote was like, she was in tears after hearing the news. And she's like, she's the reason she now the one thing maybe I misread it, but like her quote was like, she's the reason I came to Chicago. I'm like, you got drafted by Chicago.
Yeah, really, but the pre-draft conversations kind of
that got her drafted. So I get that. But that one quote, like, I was like, there's got to be more context to that, because she got drafted. Right. It wasn't like she was like, I'm gonna go. Like, it wasn't like you committed to this college. Right. So that was weird. I just want to throw a little joke in there on that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm hoping Dwayne Wade wasn't part of this decision, but he has known for making bad off-court decisions, because he gave Aaron Gordon like an 8 when it should have been a 10, and lost him the dunk contest when he went off. So yeah, Dwayne Wade sometimes not very very good on making good business decisions off the court. But I don't, whatever. But yeah, what I think Witherspoon will do, once you become a head coach, in a profession, this isn't the last time, especially with NBA coaches. Once you become a head coach, you get in that cycle and you get hired a bunch of times by other coaches. NFL coaches, they might go back to like being like you were saying. She might go to the NBA, and then once the WNBA team opens up, I'm pretty sure she's probably going to stick with another WNBA team, unless something happened and she just was she got blackballed, which that's never hasn't come out that I've seen that says like it was just a big on that it was basically just Chicago Sky set her up for failure. She did the best she could with what she had, and it still was never good enough, which is super shitty.
Yeah. And like even she was at that New York Liberty versus Aces game, and like New York Liberty was even like honoring her on the because she played for them, and people at the game who were at the game online said that there was more cheers for her than any other celebrity that they put on the jumbotron. But throwing over to you, Tishka, think she's gonna stick with the WNBA coaching job, or where's she gonna go?
I really have no idea. Just because I really don't know the landscape of the WNBA coaching. That's why I was trying to look at some articles and a little bit of a track record career wise to kind of get a little context. But I mean, not every coach is meant to be a head coach. You look at a lot of other sports. Sometimes they're just better assistants, they're better coordinators. But for this one, I really don't know the situation with her. It does seem like they basically did her dirty after dropping her after 1 year. And then even like trying to look at some articles. Already the team is trying to spin like, oh, we got positive news, we're getting a new stadium or new arena kind of thing, and it's just it does kind of something's a little bit off. Something does reek a little bit because that seems a little bit too short-sighted to really give a coach any chance. I mean, like you kind of mentioned football, Josh, but it's in every a lot of other sports too, because everything's just getting microwaved. Where it's like, oh, you didn't win this year, bye. And it's like you're not going to allow any time for development, any player relationship. I mean, a lot of times that first year of anything, whether it's a political office, whether it's just a job, you're just trying to get set. You're trying to figure out the rhythm. You're trying to get your sleep schedule down. You're trying to learn where everything is, before they update everything, with operating system wise, it throws it all off, like you're still just kind of getting comfortable there. So for them to not give her a second or even a third year is pretty much bullshit. And I hope for her sake that she stays in the WNBA. Because I mean, there's no better revenge than success, and but I mean, if she is looking to go to the NBA, I mean, I think that would be a huge success as well, because the barriers are being broken all over the place, and so yeah, I mean, it'd be great to kind of see that happen, kind of on the men's side as well, where there's becoming a little more and more, there's a little bit of a blending between kind of the leagues, the main difference just kind of being the actual people on the court. And so best of luck to her, and the fuck Chicago, WTF
Chicago
Duh, Sky.